Ready.
I think we're ready. All right, let's go. Well, hello to everyone out there. Thanks so much for joining this yummified, that's what I want to call it, this yummified session that we have with Chef Shawn. Chef Shawn is going to be cooking up some amazing things for us. He talked to me a little bit earlier about some of the things that he's going to be making, and I'm already hungry. So I just want to let you know you can follow Chef Shawn on Instagram. That's Chef Shawn Osby, ChefShawnOsbey. Follow him there for some of those yummy treats that he's always cooking up. All right, so let's start, Chef Shawn. So talk to us about, first of all, thank you for inviting us inside your kitchen, and talk to us about what you're going to be making for us today.
I just want to say thank you guys for having me. It's really a pleasure. You know, Juneteenth is a great holiday. I love celebrating Juneteenth. I'm so happy you guys let me be a part of this. So today we're doing we're gonna do some classic soul food dishes. We got some macaroni and cheese. We got some black eyed peas and things like that. But we're gonna try to make them in a new, kind of like a new way. We're gonna take away that ham hock that goes in and fat bag that goes into the black eyed peas. And our candy yams are going to be a little different. We're going to flavor them and sweeten them with honey instead of all that brown sugar and all that stuff. So it's a healthier take, so we can kind of step into a new kind of new recipes where we're leaving all that bad health and all that sugar and all that cholesterol and stuff back in the day. Our Juneteenth celebration is all about health and all about wealth and being happy and healthy for the future. So we're going to flip these recipes and kind of make them healthy and so we can have a longevity life and be healthy and all that stuff. So.
Well, a lot of people probably say, okay, wait a minute, you're taking out the fat back, you're taking out the sugar. Is it gonna taste good? That's the question.
It's amazing, yes. We're doing things, we're gonna use smoked turkey instead, we're gonna use honey as sweeteners and things like that. They work just as great, but we have resources to grab these, these great ingredients and stuff. Before we didn't have the resources, we didn't have, they were quite expensive to, to cook with raw honey and things like that. So nowadays we know better, we can do better,
All right. Well, look, I've never had your food, but I've heard people who've had your food and they say it's good. So let's get to cooking.
All right. So first we're gonna go jump right into it and start with our dessert first. If you guys know about the kitchen, you always start with your dessert first because baking is quite intense and it's about measuring and it's about your oven has to be a perfect temperature. So we're gonna jump into our bourbon bread pudding. It's an easy 1-2 recipes. It's one of my go-to recipes actually. I don't really have a lot of time to bake. I have a baker that kind of does all the stuff that, all the cool, fancy stuff. But this bread pudding is one of the things I love to make because it's easy and simple. So what we got here, I got some, just some bread and stuff I had laying around the house. You buy some hamburger buns and things like that, you don't use all of them, and you have some sweet breads, or, you guys made a cake last week and it didn't quite finish it, a pound cake, or you have some leftover croissants. This is the perfect way to get rid of them. It's a perfect dessert.
So you put something underneath the cutting board. What did you do? What did you do there?
So I just took a paper towel and I wet it a little bit. So you always want to put something moist underneath your cutting board so it doesn't slide around. So when you use it, you don't have any control over it. So put something, just a little moist paper towel right underneath it. It'll lock it into place. So when you're chopping, everything it stays right in there. It's not out of control. All right.
Okay. all right. And if people have any questions, you can put them in the chat, and then we're going to ask some of those questions if you have them.
Perfect. All right. So like I said, I have some old hamburger buns here, and we're just gonna chop these up actually and throw them in along with it. Because it's really easy. It's a simple recipe. It's really something that you can get rid of your old bread. So just chop it up into some cubes. And we're gonna toss that right in. So our next step, have some let's see. I have some eggs here, and I'm gonna add in about a tablespoon of vanilla extract right into there. And we'll also add in some cinnamon and nutmeg. It's about a teaspoon of cinnamon and a teaspoon of nutmeg right into the eggs. And I'm gonna get a whisk and whisk those together. All right. So yeah, you can be really, really creative with this bread pudding. My little twist is, I'll tell you, I use coffee made creamer. So I get a flavored coffee made creamer. This is hazelnut, but you can use whatever your favorite is, French vanilla and all those things. It packs a lot of flavor instead of just using like milk or heavy cream.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. I was looking at, when I went and bought this today, they had a new one that was a cinnamon toast crunch flavor. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that to them yet because it was.
But if they're scared to use that, you said you can use just milk instead.
Yeah. If you don't have any coffee made or anything, or you just have some regular milk or cream in your refrigerator, that works just as well.
Now, will almond milk work the same?
So almond milk won't. I would prefer to do a coconut milk because coconut milk doesn't curdle. Almond milk will have curdles in it when it gets hot when you heat it. So do something like a coconut milk or something like that will work a lot better.
Cool.
If you want to try to do this without dairy products. So once you get those whisked together, it's literally just a couple steps. We're just going to add the eggs with all the cinnamon and vanilla, pour it right on top of the diced bread. And this bread, it can be stale. The staler, the better if you want to let it sit out, overnight and get crusty and stale, because it'll suck up all that juice and it'll pack in all that flavor, all that cream and vanilla will be infused to the bread, And so we got 2 cups of brown sugar here.
And you don't have to waste that bread.
Yeah, don't waste the bread.
And so what did you just put in some brown sugar?
Yeah, 2 cups of brown sugar. And we're gonna do 2 cups of the creamer. And then we're just gonna incorporate all that together. I know most people do like so we're basically just creating a custard, an easy custard. Most custards, when you make like a creme brulee or something, you would heat the sugar and let it melt on the stove, and you have to temper the eggs into it so they won't curdle and all that stuff. But this bread pudding doesn't call for all that. It's just an easy dump everything in the bowl, mix it together, and the custard, we kind of make itself once it gets in the oven,
Mm-hmm.
And really, that's it. 3 steps.
So the prep was real easy to get this together.
Yeah, man, it's super simple. All these recipes are super simple. They're family friendly. These are recipes that you can teach your kids, that go quick, and it's not a lot of work, And we're just gonna dump that right in there. And you can add chocolate chips to this. You can add raisins. You can add, walnuts, pecans, whatever you want to this recipe. It'll all come out great. All right, and I'll show you. That's how it look in the pan there. And we're just gonna pop this into the oven at 350.
So preheat to 350, okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna, and this is gonna cook in real time. It really only takes about 35 minutes to cook, so we're gonna pull that out right when it's ready. It's super, super simple. I love that recipe. It tastes amazing. It packs a lot of flavor. It feeds a ton of people. Bread is cheap. I'm sure you have like bread hanging around your house in the refrigerator, in the freezer. I usually freeze my bread after I'm done with it. After, you make hot dogs or hamburgers, there's always buns left over. I throw them in the freezer and I get it all together and make some bread pudding. So it's super easy.
So how long do you keep it in the oven?
So it's gonna cook about 35 to 40 minutes, just depending on what kind of oven you have. If you use a regular oven, it'll take a little bit longer. If you use a convection oven, that means they have a fan in the back, blowing that heat all around. It'll cook super quick, so about 35 minutes.
Okay, good.
All right.
All right.
That was it. So we're gonna check on that bread pudding later, though. I'll show you how it comes out.
All right, cool.
I'll taste it and tell you guys how it tastes. All right, next is this is my mac and cheese. When I tell you, this is like the go-to mac and cheese recipe. So I got a pound of elbow macaroni just in here. It's just cooked off. And I'm gonna add in here some Swiss cheese, cheddar cheese, and mozzarella cheese. All right. So It's about a cup of each. Got some spilled over there. All right. So what's different? So we always have a debate about whose macaroni and cheese is best and what goes in macaroni and cheese and Black people versus white people macaroni and cheese. I'm gonna tell you, this recipe is the best of both worlds. So we're doing a regular. So we're gonna make a cheese sauce here. So I'm gonna put the camera over here so you guys can kind of see what's going on. And so I got some heavy cream, just a quart of heavy cream, and I'm gonna pour this in here just to heat it up. And I'm gonna make a little cheese sauce right in this pan here. And that's gonna be my liquid base for the mac and cheese. So I'm not gonna, and definitely use heavy cream. It's a little more expensive than milk, but it definitely goes along. And it packs a more creamier, velvety texture. It's a richer flavor because the heavy cream, it reduces when it gets hot, warm. So it makes like this creamy, rich, it makes its own sauce pretty much. So definitely use heavy cream when you use your mac and cheese. right? And once the mac and cheese, heavy cream heat up, we're gonna go ahead and mix in some more cheddar cheese and mozzarella cheese.
Now I see you have a gas stove. Does that make a difference when making this over an electric stove?
Yeah, gas stove, electric stove, it all works the same. As long as you got some heat, you know, it'll all work. I've created kitchens and worked on, you know, wood and all kind of stuff. So as long as you got some heat, you can do this anywhere.
Now, what type of cheese is this?
So this is cheddar cheese. We put a half a cup of cheddar cheese in a whole cup of mozzarella cheese.
Now, this is in addition to the cheese you already have to the side.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're doing here is we're making a cheese sauce in this pan here. So we want to get this cheese all melted in there. So you're kind of giving them like a double layer of cheese flavor.
And for some people, more cheese, the better.
Yeah, and people like, you know, different varieties of cheese. And I use these three just because I feel like you get, the cheddar gives it a real, you know, sharpness that you need. The mozzarella gives it that stringy pull that you need. And the Swiss cheese is a real salty cheese, so it gives it that nice salty kind of flavor. And Swiss cheese is a dry cheese too, so it gives it like this really, really cool mild saltiness, you know.
So Mitzi was asking, she said you have the fire really high. Is that recommended, or are you just doing that for presentation?
No, so I cook on high fire. Just, you know, I cook at restaurants, so we do everything on high. But you could definitely. This is something that you don't want to walk away from, though. It's something that because heavy cream will boil over and it will destroy you. It'll be a big mess, and you'll be cleaning for a couple hours. So it's something that you just don't want to put on and walk away with. So I'm gonna stay here and kind of whisk all this cheese in it till it kind of melts down a little bit, and then kind of babysit a little bit. So so definitely want to watch this. So,
how do you know it when it's ready?
So I'm gonna show you guys. So the cheese is kind of. Let me see if I can get it. It's still, so once all that cheese starts melting in, it's gonna get a little thicker as well because the cheese is gonna melt, and that's when you know it's done. Okay. And I'll put you guys that next step too. And so we're gonna add in. So the whole debate is, you know, is there egg in your macaroni and cheese, or there's not egg. So when people basically make a cheese sauce, they usually don't add eggs to the macaroni and cheese because they think the cheese sauce is enough. But for me, I do the best of both worlds. I add eggs as well. So we're making a custard base. Like Black people love a custard mac and cheese. You put it in the oven, it bakes, and it kind of makes its own, you know, it makes its own kind of sauce and sticks together. And you gotta, you know, almost cut it out the pan. Like it's kind of like that kind of. But this is like a creamy and it's like a custard kind of style. So.
Okay. Well, we've got two questions for you. I know Lisa says, you know, she's added ground mustard and onions to her mac and cheese. She asked, what was the most unusual ingredient you've added to yours?
So I'm a really, I like to keep things real classic and easy. So I don't really put a lot of stuff. I make a great truffle mac. I do truffle oil and fresh truffles. You know, I'll add some bacon or ham products to my mac and cheese. But other than that, I do a great barbecue chicken and barbecue pork mac and cheese. But yeah, that's a good one there. But I really stick with the same basic recipe and just add kind of nuances to make it, you know, heighten it like that. But I really don't add like the mustard or the flour or the roux or the shallots and all that stuff. I think that for me, just personally, I feel like it's getting away from like the classic taste of, you know, mac and cheese.
All right. And Phyllis said, how many eggs do you have when you're using?
So this is a pound of pasta we're using. So I'm only gonna use 2 eggs. It'll be great. It'll be perfect enough for to make that custard and that cheese sauce to come together with everything.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So now it's you know, all that cheese is kind of melted down together, and it's a nice little velvety sauce there.
So you want it to be nice and smooth.
Yeah, you want all that cheese to be melted and kind of incorporated in there. And this heavy cream really is gonna melt, like it's gonna reduce down really nice once you put it in the oven and bake it. Because when people do cheese sauces, they usually don't bake it. They'll just put some cheese on top and just bake it to, you know, to kind of get crispy and golden. But this one, we're actually gonna bake it all the way through, so the eggs, you know, kind of cook all the way through and everything kind of gets good in there. All right, cool. All right. So I am going to add a little salt to it. And I'm going to add a little pepper.
Now, I know a lot of people are using Himalayan salt, and does that make a difference?
Yeah, so I mean, there's some great salts out there that can get pretty pricey. I stick with a basic kosher salt. I think
Okay.
So here we go. We're just gonna pour this right on top of that.
Oh, okay, so just right on top.
Yeah. Yeah, then we're gonna mix all this in. Yeah, so we're just gonna incorporate that cheese sauce. Right. Oh,
Bless you.
thank you, black pepper.
So what you have it in right now, is that what, I can't see from here, is that what you're going to cook it in, or is that just a?
No, so we just mix it in the bowl, and then we're gonna transfer
mixing
it
bowl.
to the casserole dish. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all getting that cheese sauce is in there. It's nice and incorporated. So because because the pasta was cold, the heavy cream got a little thick. But even though it looks thick, we're gonna put it in the oven, and then it's gonna loosen back up, and all that cheese is gonna melt together. It's gonna make it pretty much its own sauce once we get it in there.
So do you recommend making the sauce as you're cooking the noodles?
Yeah, you can do it at the same time.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna add my eggs into this and just lightly, and you don't have to like whisk it all the way. I'm just gonna lightly just kind of fold those eggs in there.
All right. You saw that, Phil. It's 2 eggs.
2 eggs. Yes.
So we have Sophenia, I believe that's how she says it. Last name Singh. She says, so what inspires you to cook the meals that you make?
So what inspires me, like I always think about who I'm cooking for. That's the biggest thing. And I'm a simple person. People always ask me like, what do you like to eat? I bet you, I like to eat simple food. I eat, grilled cheese and soups are good for me. And I'll eat a chicken sandwich or chicken salad. Like when I'm cooking for other people, I really feel like that's the beauty of it. It's an art. I want people to enjoy my thought process and understand kind of what I kind of created and kind of why I put these flavors together and kind of why I did what I did, and understand it and enjoy it, So it's more about people enjoying the food more than me enjoying it, I guess.
Now, do you have like a favorite cookbook, or you just kind of do things to trial and error?
Yeah, so I go through recipes, I'll go out to eat, or I'll look at stuff or what people are doing, and I'll figure out just like how can I put my own twist on it, and things that inspire me about just how I feel I can make it better, or what would I do to make it work for me, my style.
Right. Now I saw you put a little cheese on the top there. Is that just for?
Yeah, so we got some topping cheese. You gotta have some cheese on top of there to crisp it all up and make it.
Okay.
So we're gonna put this in the oven. I'm gonna actually put it. I'm gonna show you how it looks like in the oven. But I'm gonna put it underneath a baking sheet. So just in case if it boils over, it doesn't ruin your oven. You don't have to be cleaning for hours.
All
so
right.
I'm gonna put this underneath so it does.
Is there a certain type of bowl you should put that in that's better for cooking that mac and cheese, or?
It's just a casserole dish. It's like it's just like a glass Pyrex dish. It's the same kind of concept. It's just a baking dish. You can use a glass dish, or same kind of thing. I put it in. They'll all work great.
Okay.
Yeah, I know some people do like a cast iron skillet and all that stuff, but yeah, you can. It works with anything. Just this recipe alone, it'll come out great. Yeah, and you notice I didn't add any butter or anything like that to it. The heavy cream is rich enough. I don't think you need to add any more fat to it. So like we said, we're trying to stick. We're trying to make it somewhat healthy. We got heavy cream and cheese, but most people, the recipes for our traditional mac and cheese calls for a lot of butter and things like that. So we didn't put any butter at all in there. So that's how we're saving some calories and some fat on this recipe.
Absolutely. Now we had Janice. Janisha, I believe that's how she says it. But she says the eggs don't scramble when you put them in with that hot mixture.
No, so like I said, the noodles were cold, And so once I dump that cream on those cold noodles, it dropped the temperature right down. So I mixed it in. You saw it got really, really thick, and even the cheese in there didn't melt all the way. So I cracked those eggs right in there, and it's almost like a tempering thing. So the eggs were fine, and once we get in there, when it gets hot, it'll all kind of melt in together, and the eggs will be incorporated and make its own sauce. So.
All right. Well, let's get to the next one. I know you got some more for us.
All right. So this one is so let's do our let's do our salad next. We got this really cool strawberry salad that's I think it's cool. It's a nice summertime salad. It's refreshing and it's fun to make, you know. It's just during strawberry season. We're in the height of strawberry season right now, so strawberries are really good. And so yeah, it's cool. I'll get the ingredients when we start.
All right. And as you're doing that, I know someone was asking about your recipes. Are they all on your Instagram page, or do you have them somewhere where people can get those recipes?
Yeah. So the recipes should have been sent out to everyone, but I'll definitely DM me. I'll send them to you. They're all ready to go. If you didn't get them, I'll send them right to you.
Yeah, I think we do have them online, so I'll try to make sure I get it exactly, know exactly where they can go to find those, to make sure. And also, someone was also asking about, just before we get to the salad, how many cups of milk or creamer did you use? I think it was 2. Is that 2 that you used, or?
So I used a whole quart.
Whole quart, okay.
Yeah. So so that was and it works. The recipe is perfect. So it's 1 pound of pasta, 1 quart of cream, and the cheese, it all works real well. It comes out really cheesy, and it's a really good recipe.
Okay. Well, then we do have those recipes there in the chat right now. So if you're looking in the chat and you want to know, oh, how did he make that? What did he say? If you missed something, they're in the chat right now. We have a link to those recipes. All right, Chef Shawn. So let's talk about this salad. Something healthy.
Yeah. So we got some arugula, baby arugula, and baby spinach. And I chose these go really, really well together because spinach is a really a soft, tender kind of green, and arugula is kind of more rugged and it's real peppery. So they play really, really well together. So arugula and spinach is our salad base. And so I got some sliced strawberries. I just took some regular, really good. You can tell how red they are. They're really, really ripe. Strawberry season is kind of like the best time of year. I love strawberries. Perfect time to celebrate this holiday. And we're gonna add in some sunflower seeds and some roasted pecans. And I chose these 2 nuts because pecans are like one of my favorite nuts. My grandmother had a pecan tree growing up in Alabama. We used to go down there every summer, and we used to just sit down and just like sit underneath the tree and eat pecans like all day. So I love pecans. And we just cracked them and roast them in the oven. Just kind of broke them down into like half pieces, and that's gonna add like a real earthy kind of taste to it. And I brought these salted sunflower seeds, so that's gonna give it like a real good saltiness with the sweet strawberries and the saltiness from the sunflower seeds.
All right.
That's right. And then we're gonna add in some golden raisins. And golden raisins, they're super, super sweet as well.
Okay.
So that's like another play on the salty and sweet. Always good for the palate.
And did you roast those pecans or pecans? I mean, I guess it depends on how you want to say it, but did you roast those yourself?
Yeah, I just roast them in the oven just to bring out all the flavors. So what it does is there's a lot of oil in nuts. So when you roast them, it just the natural oils of the nuts just toast them a little bit, and you get that flavor intensifies. It just makes them even better. And they get a little.
Do you put anything on them?
No, just regular. Just put them in just dry, and they'll do the work themselves really. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So our salad dressing is a champagne vinaigrette. So I made it ahead of time just because we don't have a bunch of time. So I'll show you the ingredients. So actually, I didn't find any champagne vinaigrette, so I got this white wine vinaigrette. And what you can do is make it a little bit sweeter. Just add a little bit of honey to the recipe instead of because the champagne vinegar is a slight bit sweeter than the regular white wine. And what went in it was olive oil, champagne vinegar, some shallots. And shallots are amazing. I don't know if you guys use shallots or not, but just think about if an onion and garlic had a baby, you would get a shallot. So you get that great garlic flavor and you get that onion flavor. but they're sweet and they're garlicky. They're really good for dressings and marinades and things.
I've heard of them, but I've never bought one. So
yeah, so shallots are amazing. They're good for like for salads and things like that and marinades. So this is what the dressing came out looking like. I just buzzed it all together, and with some a little bit of lemon juice, olive oil, and I just put it in the blender and kind of whipped it all together. So
and the shallots, you just chop those finely. I guess that's what you did.
I just put them in, chopped them in quarters. And I just put them all in the blender, and I put it all together.
Oh, blender.
The blender and the blender also. You see how it's it looks like it's emulsified, like it's all together.
Yes.
The vinegar and the oil is not separated. So once you use a blender, it whips the air into the dressing. It kind of makes it stay together. And also there's a little bit of Dijon mustard in there, and that's a emulsifier. So it will keep the vinaigrette together too. And this dressing will last for for 2 or 3 weeks in the refrigerator. So you can make a bunch of them, just keep it in there, and you'll have it for a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Okay. I like the fact that you're using things and you're not wasting anything, so we can keep that around for a while.
Yeah. So that's what it's all about. It's about working easy, working smart, and not having to do all this work all the time. Especially if you have a family, you're working, you don't want to have to be working extra hard trying to create meals for your family and stuff. So definitely do stuff when you're making these recipes. Make them in bulk, and throw so you have them for the rest of the week. Even that bread pudding, if you make a big batch, if you don't want to cook it all at one time, say you only have 4 people in your family, you can take that whole bread pudding mixture and just put it in the freezer bag. And when you're ready to bake it, just put it in a casserole dish and put it in the oven. It'll still come out just as great.
Oh, okay, it's good to know.
Yeah. So we're just gonna toss the salad all together, all those ingredients, and we're gonna plate it up. I mean, this salad is super, super cool.
And that looks light and fresh, especially something around the summertime months.
You
definitely want something like that.
Perfect summer salad. It has those golden raisins in it that are sweet. It has those salty sunflower seeds, sweet strawberries, and then we're just gonna take it and top it off with a little feta cheese. And feta cheese is a little salty too. And that's gonna bring it all together.
That's good and easy too.
Yeah, all these recipes are super, super simple. And these recipes, I think that that you can get your family in. You can definitely, when you start introducing your kids into cooking, these are things that you could. They're super simple, and kids love like strawberries and things like that. They love raisins. So these are ingredients that they love to eat already. So when you incorporate it into other things that like salad greens and things like that, they love. They're eating healthy, and they'll love to participate because they're working with ingredients that they already love to eat.
Nice, because that's the thing. A lot of families are in the house right now because of the quarantine or shelter at home, and this is great. So what you're doing, it really is something that the entire family could do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. We want to teach our kids how to eat healthy and how to cook healthy, and that's where that's where it starts. From back, that's how I learned in the kitchen. I started being in the kitchen, being nosy, and cooking with my mom and dad, and it just took off from there. I grew up in Connecticut, and I hate the snow. It snowed a lot there, and I still hate the snow to this day. And we still had to go shovel snow. So I had 2 older brothers, so I would convince them to go shovel snow, and I would stay in and cook breakfast. That's how that's how I got into cooking and kind of getting out of shoveling too. So
yeah, well there you go. And did you play ball too?
Yeah, I played basketball all through college. I went to a small school in upstate New York, where I played basketball. I played power forward and center.
Yeah, because you're like what, 6? You taller? I'm 6'4". I know you're taller than me.
Yeah, I'm 6'7". Yeah.
See, yeah, the big chef. That's what.
Yeah. You guys see, I'm kind of bending down trying to get in this camera frame.
Yeah, I know the struggle. All right, I know you said I saw some yams over there to the side. Is that what you're gonna make next, or what do you have next for us?
So next, we're gonna do this really cool. This is another really cool recipe that you guys can make with the kids. Like when you're in the kitchen, there's something that the kids can do while you're getting dinner ready. You put them on the table or something. They can make their own kind of watermelon pizza. Another great summer recipe is something that you can get the family involved with. So it's a really super and cool kind of recipe, and they'll love it. It's super simple, super easy. So you gotta get a watermelon and just take it and cut it right down the middle, just like that.
Now, how do you pick your watermelon? Because I think that's always a big thing for a lot of people. Is there a certain thing you look for?
Yeah, so you want to look at the bottom of the watermelon and look for light patches like this. That means the watermelon's been sitting and it had some time to ripen. And look for things like sugar that's around the end of it. That means that it's nice and ripe. That it's so sweet that the sugar's kind of oozing out.
Oh.
So look for those and look for how tiny or small the kind of string or the vine is. The vine that was connected to it. It should be a small shriveled dry vine. That means it's ripe, because if there's a thick healthy vine on it, that means it wasn't sitting. It was picked too early. So look for a shriveled vine and look for things like marks that's been sitting for a while, like these like light blonde marks. That means it's been sitting and it's ripened. So that's how you look for a melon.
Thank you.
Yes. So you're just gonna take this and cut it about 1 inch thick down the middle, almost like the size of like a pizza, So.
Okay.
And then we're gonna, so you can just, you can give each kid a slice like this, a watermelon, and then they got some toppings they can kind of put on it to make it like it's a pizza. And it's, it's super easy, super quick, but it's something fun that the kids can do on their own. And while you're getting dinner ready, you can put them on a table somewhere and kind of just let them create their own little snack, before snack or after school snack. So we got some yogurt here, some Greek yogurt. We're gonna take that and spread it out like it's the pizza sauce.
And this is all healthy. I mean, this is things you want to eat.
Yeah, stuff is, it's good for you. And I made this recipe. I taught my little niece how to make this. She loves to snack and she loves to eat. And she was getting a little thick, so we had to replace her snacks with healthy snacks. And we started giving her grapes instead of chips, and just little things like that, and fruit instead of candy and cookies and things like that. And this is one of the things that really, really helped her, get through it. And now she loves fruit and she loves to eat healthy. So.
Well, they say fruit is nature's candy, so.
Yeah, exactly. So we got some blueberries and raspberries and things here, some grapes and strawberries. So we're just gonna throw them on top here and make it colorful and make it fruitful. Super easy. Kids can be creative. They can make faces. They can, do what they want with them and let them be.
This is something really good, I think for even smaller children to make, because it looks like it could be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great way to introduce kids to food and to introduce them into cooking and let it know that, it can be fun and it can be, easy. And so that's our watermelon pizza, just like that. And then we're just gonna cut it into slices, into like pizza slices,
Yeah.
Just chop it like that. Yeah, so now they got their own little watermelon pizza. They can pick them up and kind of.
Yeah, simple, easy. And that took less than 5 minutes, I think. So.
Yeah. So definitely something cool and easy for the kids. They'll definitely have fun with that. Summertime, watermelons are in season now. All this good fruit is available. And you can garnish this with a little mint or something if you want. Or drizzle it with a little honey if you want it sweeter. I use a lot of honey in my recipes just because it's a natural sweetener, and it's so much better for you than like raw sugar. So that's our watermelon pizza.
That looks great.
Yeah, something cool and fun for the kids.
Yeah, Natalie says, wow, that looks so cool.
Yeah, especially for a Juneteenth celebration, we got our thing going on. The older adults like to do party and have fun and eat good, and this is something definitely that the kids can do to participate in the meal and participate for with the celebration as well. So
there you go, something simple, easy. When the cousins or whatever come over, they're outside playing, they want a quick little snack, and that's a perfect one.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just gonna put to the side. We'll get going on the next recipe.
Okay.
All right. So our next recipe is going to be our black eyed peas. So me growing up, I grew up with, we were all about soul food, cooking black eyed peas and dressing and all that type of stuff. So this would, my parents, they use fatback and salt pork and all that stuff growing up. But when I got older and started cooking more, I found out about smoked turkey products. So instead of all the pork products, I replaced them with the smoked turkey, and you get that same great flavor and, that you would get from the pork products, but it's so much more healthy and less fat, and and you get a great flavor from it as well. Yeah. All right, so let me get my black eyed peas. So we just got a bag of dried black eyed peas. And the first thing you got to do is just sort through them and pick through them. And the easiest way to do that is just kind of lay them out and just go through them. Because a lot of times you'll find some rocks or some stones in these bags. And
oh, really?
You don't want to get you don't want to cook that in with your pot. Somebody will bite down on that and break a tooth or something. So just go through and sort through them, or if there are any broken beans or anything like that, or any ones that look damaged or dried. And it's a real easy 1-2 process, just to sort through.
You're just looking for anything that's not a black eyed pea.
Yeah. You don't want a rock in there or something, because sometimes they don't get they'll miss a little thing like that. Just like when you're picking through like crab meat or something, you might get like a little shell or something in there.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So these look good. So once you sort through them, I would just get a bowl and kind of. Where's my bowl? Yeah.
Just get that bowl. We did have one other question from the pizza.
Yeah.
Someone Lisa was asking about the Greek yogurt. Is there a certain brand, or you just any brand that you like?
Yeah, any brand you like is good. You can even get like the Greek yogurt. You can get the flavored yogurt, like a vanilla or strawberry. All of them's great. And there's also a vegan yogurt that you can use if you wanted to go totally vegan on the watermelon too. It's I think it's like a cashew yogurt or something like that you can use to top it. But you can find it pretty much all grocery stores as well. So if you want it to be a vegan dish, definitely get a vegan yogurt. It'll be just as great. And so once you pick through your black eyed peas, if you have time, you can soak them overnight, but you don't have to. That's like real old school, soaking your beans overnight and all that stuff. And that's the way they taught us in culinary school as well, to soak them. But I really don't, there's not a huge difference. Cooking time, maybe you save about, 15 to 20 minutes, but if you have time, it doesn't really matter. So if you want, you can just put some water over this and just let them sit there and soak. And they'll expand, they'll get a little bigger, and then the cooking time will be less. But if you have time, they don't take that long to cook anyway.
Mm. So like if you decide not to let them soak overnight, how long should you let them sit in that water?
In the cooking time of the beans?
Yeah, you said you don't have to let them soak overnight, but so if you don't do that, you said just put some water in them, and how long do they sit there?
No. So if you don't, just put them on the stove right away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna get so you're gonna find some your turkey products. It'll be a turkey wing or smoked turkey necks, whatever you want to use, and then just put them on the stove with some water or some chicken stock or something. Just let it boil, and let it cook for about 35-40 minutes, because you want to make like a broth out of the smoked turkey product. And then I add some chopped garlic cloves and a half of an onion. Depending on how many beans I'm making for this one bag, I'll do a half an onion. But if I'm making like more for a lot of people, I'll just add more onions to it. And just you don't gotta chop it up or dice it, just throw it all in. And then let it cook. And just beans, black eyed peas, they take about probably about 45 minutes to an hour. They cook quick to me. And keep adding water. They'll soak up. They'll soak up water. And so you got to watch them and stir them and make sure that you can add more liquid into them so they don't burn. And it's something simple and easy. But taking away that pork product really, really gives it a lot less fat and calories and all that stuff and all that salt and all that stuff. So definitely use the smoked turkey products. Is so much better for you. It gives it a great flavor.
You can keep the Southern meal, but you can take a little bit of the unhealthiness out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, black and they're great for you. It's a great fiber. They're very nutritious. You know, they're really really good for you. So yeah, so definitely keep them healthy. You know what I'm saying? You don't need that pork in there. You know, the turkey works just as great. So I'm gonna plate them up. So I cook these ahead of time just because they take they cook for about about an hour or so. So I make them ahead of time, and I'll plate them up, show you how they come out. All right. So what I did is I cooked some white rice. So I just have a bowl, some white rice here on the bottom. I'm gonna spoon some peas right on top of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is how they come out. This is how they look when they come out. They're cooked down. You got some of that good turkey meat in there. And so what I did is, as they were cooking, as the turkey meat was boiling, I kind of just pulled it off the bones a little bit and just kept the meat right in there to add it in and make it a little more hearty. So you got some of that. Oh, it smells amazing. So you got some of that good turkey meat in there, some onions, garlic. I put a little Creole seasoning in there as well to season it. And I put the Creole seasoning at the beginning. And I usually season my food towards the end because when things reduce, the salt never reduces. So you want to be mindful when you're cooking soups and stews and stuff like that. But when I do my beans, I do add the seasoning in at the beginning because you do want the beans to be flavored all the way through. So it's a great opportunity. So when they're cooking, that liquid is penetrating the beans. So you want to that gives it the great flavor. So but other things you want to be mindful when you season to always kind of season towards the end of your cooking process because you can't really. Because salt, your liquid will reduce, but that salt will stay the same. It'll get salty as it cooks longer, Yeah. So I'm just gonna garnish this on top with some chopped peppers, some red and green peppers.
That looks really good. Sasha says she's hungry now.
That means black eyed peas. You can see the turkey in there. And we got that, that plain, that great white rice down there at the bottom. And yeah.
That's good. I'm gonna try that one. I like that one.
It is super easy and super simple. Like these recipes are quick, they're easy, they pack a lot of flavor, and they're good to have in your repertoire. When you want to try to impress somebody or you got something going on, pull them out and get to it.
But look, make sure you can keep that up if you're trying to impress somebody.
Right.
Because I've done that, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not a cook.
I'm telling you, these recipes are super easy. Anybody can follow these. They're really cool. Yeah.
All right, that looks good.
Those are our black eyed peas. All right. So I'm gonna go into our wings, our damn good wings. So yeah, I mean this recipe is super good. So I have some whole chicken wings here. They gotta be there. I feel like I can eat chicken wings. Well, I pretty much eat chicken wings every day, but they're one of my favorite foods. So I came up with this recipe when I was living in Las Vegas. Me and my buddy, we were just hanging out, playing around in the kitchen. We were kind of, building this recipe for these wings. We wanted like some baked wings, and this recipe is baked. It's not fried, but you get a lot of flavor and a lot of cool stuff that goes on in here. So I washed these wings, I dried them off, and got all the anything that was hanging out of them, like little feathers or anything. So they're washed and clean. And so the spices include garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, cayenne pepper, dried thyme, salt, pepper, and I think that's it. Yeah, but it's a lot of spices here.
Okay. We have all those in the recipes that are online.
They're all in the recipe, yeah.
Yeah, so just look. If you didn't catch that, it's all in the group chat there. So
yeah, it's a tablespoon of each one. And then we're gonna add in a little olive oil. We added olive oil because it's like a glue. So olive oil or any kind of oil, it makes everything sticks to your protein or sticks to your meat. So I always want to add like a little bit of fat to your to anything that you're cooking, like meat wise, because then your seasoning will stick to it and you won't lose all that good flavor on just out the door. And then we're also gonna add some honey. So like I said, honey is, so you gotta think about what sugars do. Sugar, they caramelize. So anything that has sugar in it, it'll get real crispy. It'll get like real crunchy. So I added some honey in there, and that'll make it, when you put it in the oven, it's gonna go in a hot oven, like 400 degrees. So it's gonna get real crispy. Like that's gonna give it that like the almost like that it's fried kind of feel that when you bite into it, give it a crunch. So so you want to put some honey in there and just kind of mix all this around. And you can put a little bit of a little lemon juice or something like that, a little acidity to add in there. Yeah, we're just gonna toss all that stuff in there on these wings, get them coated really well.
Now, some people have started using like air fryers. Do these work just as well with that, or you recommend doing the oven?
These will be perfect in an air fryer. This is like this recipe was kind of like made for an air fryer. But okay. I've always had a conventional oven that has like the fan on it. It kind of mimics the same thing as an air fryer. So if you don't have an air fryer, like a convection oven is amazing because it blows it's the same concept as the air fryer because what it's doing is blowing the heat around your food that makes it crispy like it's fried. So when you have that convection, you have that fan in there, it's kind of doing the same thing as the air fryer.
Okay. I live on my air fryer right now, so that's why I asked.
Yeah, so definitely try this recipe in your air fryer. You'll go crazy. It'll be the best thing ever. All right, so you can see how these wings look. They're super seasoned. They got a lot going on in them. You got all that honey. You got those flavors. You got that cayenne pepper that's gonna give it a little spice. Garlic powder and onion powder. I mean, these wings are like when you try them, you'll be like, damn, that's a good wing. That's how they got their name.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna wash my hands so quickly. Yeah, so this recipe is super easy too, super quick, and I mean they pack a lot of flavor. They come out real. People usually go crazy.
And you say once you do that, you just put them on a baking sheet and put them in the oven?
Yeah, so I cook them ahead of time just so you guys can see them. So they come out like really crispy. You see how much they get a lot of color on them. I'll plate them up for you so you can see them.
Now, how long did you put them in the oven, and what temperature was it?
So they go around 400 degrees.
Okay.
And so that's that's a hot oven. So and they take about probably about 30 minutes. But they get a lot of color on them. They're super crispy. And that cayenne pepper up there that helps in getting them like that nice color. And that paprika gives them that nice color too.
Mm-hmm.
And the honey, the honey too gives that nice color. So and they're super crispy, real caramelized. Yeah, these are damn good wings. I'm gonna have to try one of these for you. So
I know. I think Stephanie was asking for a virtual taste test. So good.
Yeah, super good.
See, now you're playing with us because we can't taste it.
A spoon. TikTok us and show us the spoon or something.
Oh, it's so good. You get the sweetness from the honey, a little spice from the pepper. Like, they're super good.
So Anita was asking about the paper that you used, the baking paper. Was it just parchment paper, or what did you use there?
Yeah, it's a little parchment paper just to protect the pan, or you can put them on a rack. That way, they'll cook all the way around. So the air can go all the way around. They'll get really crispy on all sides. So a little parchment paper or a baking rack would be great. So.
All right.
Yeah. Wow, those are really good.
I'll be making those too. Trust.
Yeah.
Can we come by the center and pick them up?
All right. So our next recipe is these are honey sweet potatoes. As you see, like I use honey and everything. I think it's great substitute for sugar and things like that. So these sweet potatoes, we're just gonna go in. So I baked these off earlier, and they're just I didn't bake them all the way through. So they're still still got like a little bit of texture to them in the middle. So we're just gonna peel off the skin and just peel them, just bake them with the skin on 350 for probably about 35 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
And just peel that skin off, and the skin will come off real easy. And you have all this good flavor. So I like baking the sweet potatoes too because when you boil them or put all that extraness in them, like you're boiling out all the flavor. All the flavor is going to be in the water, So definitely if you're making like a sweet potato pie or anything like that, or sweet potato bread, or definitely bake your potatoes first. Don't boil them because you're losing all your flavor in the water. All right. And so that we're just gonna cut these down the middle. Just do like a a rubber chop on them. Do about an inch thick. Yeah, so I have some more chopped up here. So I'm just gonna add these together. Yeah, and so I'm just gonna grab a regular saute pan, and I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of butter in the bottom of the pan, and we're just gonna let these kind of brown. And yeah, so I just got a regular saute pan. Put a little butter there at the bottom.
Do you put it on high or medium? What's the heat?
Yeah, so we're gonna start off on high, and then we'll reduce it down a little bit just to get it started, get the butter melted, and then we're gonna add the sweet potatoes in, just like that. And it's one of those things, you really want the potatoes to get nice and crispy and crunchy. So it's one of those things you can just let kind of like go on their own for a little bit. And just toss them every 2 or 3 minutes. Just go ahead and kind of give them a toss, and then we're gonna add in some the seasoning, salt, and pepper. We're gonna add some honey in, and that honey, that sweetness, is gonna stick to it and make like its own like nice little syrup, with the butter, and then the melted honey is gonna attach to the sweet potatoes, and you'll get that candy yam kind of flavor and feel, but you don't have the whole 2 sticks of butter, the whole pound of sugar, the whole pound of brown sugar, so. It really, really gives you that same flavor and feel as candy yams, but without all the fat and all the extraness, So we're gonna season this with salt and pepper, and this is just regular, kosher salt. It gives you the best. I feel like it's the best salt out there for the price. You can get those Himalayan salts and all that stuff, which are great. They taste great, but they cost money and stuff. But you get a great all around salt with this kosher salt. And you can add a little bit of cinnamon in here if you like. And then this is all your preference. If you like cinnamon in your yams, all preference.
Right.
I'm just gonna add a touch. Yeah, so we're just gonna let that go for a little bit, and then add the honey at the end a little bit. And now we're gonna check on our bread pudding, our mac and cheese in the oven. I'm gonna show you guys.
Oh yeah, so if you all are joining us a little bit later, so far he's made mac and cheese, he made a salad, he made a watermelon pizza, he made some black-eyed peas, so and he also made bread pudding. That was the first thing that he made. So I mean, he's given you pretty much a whole meal and then some for you to try at home. And then we also had those wings. So I mean, I can't wait. I think I'm gonna make everything on here. The mac and cheese. I've always been afraid to make that mac and cheese because I don't. I just want it to be right. So and yours seemed like it was really simple and easy to follow.
All right, so I'm gonna pull this mac and cheese out of the oven so you guys can see what it looks like while the yams are still cooking. All right. All right, so I just got the mac and cheese out.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, it's nice and golden brown. And I'm gonna get a spoon and go with it so you guys can see how the sauce is kind of looking like made.
And so that was in for about 30 minutes, all right?
Yeah, so you see you still got the custard kind of thing going on, but it's still cheesy like a sauce, and it's
yeah, that looks good.
So you get the best of both worlds. You got a cheese sauce in there, and you got the custard kind of thing going as well. Yes, yes, yes. And there's our other stuff. There's our strawberry salad.
Phyllis said you can ship all of that to Southern California. And you've turned Kenya said she's got a new mac and cheese recipe, so she's definitely going to use that. It looks really good, Shawn.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's amazing. And people that try this recipe or have my mac and cheese, they always ask, what's like, how did you do that? What is it? I was like, super simple. Like, it's really the best of both worlds. You have the custard style with the eggs in it, and you have that quick cheese sauce we made at the beginning. Makes a big difference.
A cheese roux, so to speak. Yeah.
What was that?
Was that you, Erica?
So that was like a roux.
And Maisha said you put your foot in it, Chef Shawn.
This big size 15s.
So you're putting the honey on your yams at the end.
Yeah, so we're making a little like a little sauce with the honey. So
Okay.
Put all the yams at the end. So we put that little bit of butter in there to get it started, and we season it with a little salt and pepper, a little cinnamon, and we're finishing off with honey.
Nice.
We got sweetening instead of all that sugar and brown sugar and all that stuff.
So yeah, he put the honey in there. He put a little cinnamon, and he started it out with some butter, and he baked the yams first, and then just peeled the skin off, and it looks good. So, and the only thing you had in there was just butter. You put a little salt and pepper, cinnamon, and then the honey. So that's simple.
So it really gives you that. It gives you that same flavor and same texture as candy yams, without all the brown sugar and all that other stuff that if people saw what the candy yam recipes were, you'd be like, this is crazy how much sugar.
Seen it, and it makes me go like, I'll be working out forever to work all that.
Right.
It's a lot of sugar.
It was like the old pitcher of Kool-Aid. You could pour the whole
Yeah.
Kool-Aid, But it's
I saw my grandma make some one time, and I was just like, why did she put all that sugar in there? I mean, and it tastes good. Now, trust me, it tastes good. But when you get a little older, you can't eat like you used to.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Yeah, so I switched over my Kool-Aid to Crystal Light. So my nieces and nephews come over. I have them thinking they drink Kool-Aid, but it's Crystal Light.
And they can't tell the difference. See?
Right. Yeah. So those are the yams. So it's one of those things that super so much healthier for you than the traditional yam recipe. Tastes amazing. You got that sweetness from the honey. It's easier. It doesn't take a long time to cook because the yams are baked in the oven first. And I don't know, yams take forever to cook in the oven. So this is a super quick way to do it. The more healthy.
And I know Terry was asking, she was saying like baked yams with the skin on it, how long? So you said you put those in the oven for about 30 minutes, but they weren't cooked all the way through though, right?
Yeah, so they weren't cooked all the way through. So we finished cooking them on the stovetop. So we gave them, probably about, I would like to get a little more color on them than what I've shown there, but I know we're getting low on time here. But just let them go, get crusty. They'll get a nice crust on them all the way through. And then just add your honey, and that just locks in that nice crust and it gets some color. But it really doesn't take long. The whole process maybe takes about 30 minutes in the oven and probably 15 minutes on top of the stove, and you have your whole, you have your candy yams done. Yeah. So.
Well, there you have it. Well, you know what, Terry, he used some butter as well as you put a little olive oil on there too, right, for the yams?
No, I just started with a little butter just to get them going, just to get a little color on them, and then that was it.
Oh, okay, yeah, but you used the olive oil on the chicken. That's what that was.
Yeah. So when you're cooking your proteins, chicken or fish or anything that you want to add a little olive oil just to get your seasoning to stick to it. That's like the glue for your that sticks everything together.
All right. Well, Chef Shawn, you put your foot in it, brother. You did your thing. Look, we appreciate you for giving us all these easy, I mean, they were really simple recipes, and the food looks so good. And so I just want to remind everyone, we put the recipes in the group chat, so get that now before we end this. And it's also on the PDF under this on the website, so you can always go there as well. But again, Chef Shawn is on Instagram, Chef Shawn Osby. Just look him up there if you have any more questions for him. And again, Chef, we thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, guys.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.